It's Money Matters, an NSCC financial literacy podcast situated in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. And now here's your host, Matt Curry.
Hello and welcome to Money Matters podcast. I'm your host, Matt Curry. Am I a financial expert? Heck no. But I do know a few things, and I know people who know a few more things, and that's what this podcast is about, connecting all those pieces together. Today, I want to welcome a very special guest to the Money Matters podcast. With me is Lexi Lynn, who works for KOFE, which is an acronym that stands for Knowledge of Financial Education, a wonderful organization that has lots of amazing and relevant resources and supports to help those of you that might need some tips and tricks to help you along your journey with financial literacy. So Lexi, welcome.
Hi, Matt. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate to have this opportunity to share what resources is available in KOFE and then how it can benefit, like how students, how they can actually maximize the benefit of this platform and then utilize to its full.
That's great, Lexi. I'm looking forward to it too. So why don't we get right into it? Can you tell me a little bit about KOFE, like where it came from, maybe some of the amazing services and resources that you have available?
Of course, our organization, like the main organization, is actually called Consolidated Credit. So we're a nonprofit credit counseling agency. So in the beginning, we actually don't have KOFE like this platform. In the beginning, we only have like a debt management program, mainly focused on to help people who are here in Canada who are in debt to get out of debt, right? And then later, slowly, as we interact with more of the clients, we realize, okay, one thing that's helping a lot of them a lot is like when they call our counselor, they actually go through a budget session with them. And then what we find out is like maybe 20-30% of the clients who are in debt who call us actually just do the initial first part of doing budget together with a counselor. They actually figure out they can deal with this debt on their own. So we developed this budgeting tool. So in the beginning, KOFE is actually just called Budget Launch. So it's only like a tool for our clients to do budget. And then slowly over the years, it becomes more comprehensive. And then we realize not only people who are in debt, they need kind of resources and help with their finances. Actually, especially in today's kind of economy, right? Our business actually got started like at a faster pace when it was back in 2007, 2008, when it's the economic crisis. So at that time, so we realized, okay, people in debt, they need help. But then other than that, the generic public, they also need a lot of help from like their financial education and financial literacy. But that's lacking like in our education system, in the workplace, like anywhere you think it should be in place, but it's not there. So yeah, that's how it comes to place.
That's awesome. So many great things. Like I was looking through the website recently, and I was just really taken by all the supports and opportunities for students to engage with real people as well, to get help. Knowing all that you have available, is there like a top three kind of list of things that you think any student should take advantage of?
For sure. Like one thing it's definitely going to be something that you mentioned. It's like this live interactions. So through KOFE platform, all the students, they will have access to talk to a financial coach in real time. So financial coach, it's like a role separate from the financial advisors in the financial institutions, right? Financial advisor, they mostly focus on investment and wealth side of the thing. Financial coach, they're somebody who focus on more like day-to-day finance. For example, they can actually help you go through a budget session together with you. You can share with them about your short-term, long-term financial goal, and then they will help you make your budget better to match your goal. And then also they can help if you have, because a lot of students, especially at young age, if they start using credit card, they are not sure what it is, they can always consult the coach. Or if they don't understand what is their credit report, how to improve their credit score, so all those kind of things they can call out to coach for help. So that's definitely a big one. Second thing is that I know that for some people it's just like they prefer do this by themselves, right? They don't feel comfortable sharing about their personal finance with other people. So One big tool that's available on the KOFE platform is the budgeting tool. So you can actually use the platform to go through a budget session by yourself. And then when you click, not only like you enter the numbers and then you have a chart of what you're spending on, but when you click, there's a tab called Go to Spending Insight. It will actually show you like what is the recommended percentage to spend on each of the category, and then you can modify your budget based on that. So that's definitely the second tool that I would recommend. And then third thing, I think would be really beneficial for young students, but they just don't realize it. There's a calculator called Simple Saving Calculator. So I personally think you should start saving as early as possible, right? So with Simple Saving Calculator, you can set like short-term, mid-term, long-term goal for yourself, and then for each of the goal, you can determine what is the amount that is needed, and then by using the Simple Saving Calculator, you will like do the reverse engineer and then figure out how you actually need to save every single month in order for you to achieve your short-term, mid-term, and long-term goal.
That's so cool, Lexi. I love the student-centeredness of all these resources too, because often it can be really intimidating for a student that might not have the spending power or the income of someone that's working full time. And so I think that your service does a great job at kind of making these topics friendly for students and make it, less intimidating for them. So that's awesome. On a personal note, I ask a lot of my podcast guests this, but do you budget like personally, like, and if so, like, what tools do you use to stay on track?
Yeah, so I actually love doing budget. So I just recently got married this year, and then now my budget, I'll not only do it for myself, but I also include my husband's budget as well. And then he just says such a relief. He finds out like, okay, I'm good at finance, and then I can take it over. So he's somebody who really, like, when he go out to buy stuff, he doesn't even check the price. Now he's being a lot better because he's spending like over the past almost 3 years with me. He's doing a lot better now. But for me, budgeting like the end of the month when I do budget, it's actually the time that I really enjoy. I get to see, okay, usually like I have certain amounts like I set for each of the category, how much I should spend on each of the category, right? And then this is the time to check how well we were doing, right? Because also budget, a lot of people thinking budget is like it's something that's gonna limit your freedom, limit your spending. So that's something like they feel like intimidated to do. But from my point of view, it's not. It's like, because I come from an Asian background, I just like doing exams, right? Exam and tests. And this is like the end of the month. You see how well you're doing for this like exam target you set for yourself. So I do budget, and then for me, I use Excel sheets because it takes longer. I know, like if you're just using a budgeting tool like KOFE, it will probably save you more time. But for me, I just like love spending time on it, and I love like entering each of the amount that I'm spending on each of the category. So if you're somebody who never do budget before, like the first time you do budget, you're gonna realize there's a lot of things that you can modify to make your spending more efficient, right? When I first included my husband budget, I was going through all of his expenses with him, and then a lot of items he doesn't even know what they are. And then later on we realized, okay, it's actually some of the subscriptions that he have years like many years ago, but he forgot to cancel them, and that those has been deducting money from his account. He doesn't do budget. He's not even aware of that. So you will see like how powerful budget can be after the first time that you do it. And then if you continue do that, oh my God, your lifetime, the wealth that you're gonna be able to generate is gonna be so much bigger.
Yeah, and I love that you said that about the subscriptions too, because my partner and I were talking about those recently. We ended up deciding on one subscription service for TV, and the other ones that we weren't really using, we've converted those into savings. So instead of like multiple subscriptions,
Exactly.
now those money are savings, and they were just kind of easy lines in our budget that we were able to move into savings. Even like you said with your husband, he didn't even realize that he had these subscriptions. Well, imagine if during that time frame that was savings money instead, right? It adds up. So every little bit helps. Working in this field, Lexi, and knowing that you were a student once too, like before you go, do you have any tips that you'd share with with your former self as a student or with current students about things they should be doing now that they can set themselves up for success?
Yes, budgeting is definitely one of the thing, right? I cannot stress how important this is. Budgeting is like for any type of financial goal that you have in your life, without budgeting, you wouldn't be able to know like how much of money you're able to save, like how long it will take you to get there, right? So budgeting is one of the important part. The second biggest, like really important part, like as I already mentioned previously, it's about saving. I will give you this one example, right? Because a lot of the students who listen to the podcast, they're still young. So I would use this example. So for example, if an 18-year-old boy started saving when he's 18 and he's able to save, let's say, $300 a month. I know that may sound a lot for now, but just bear with me here. So he's able to save $300 per month, and then he continued doing that for 8 years. So by the time, let's assume he's able to make a rate of return of 10% for those amount of money that he saved. So by the time he's 26, he will have around 43K saved up. Okay. That's not the crazy part. But now let's assume at the age of 26, right? This man, grown-up man, now for whatever reason, he lost ability to work or he just stopped saving all completely. But he just let this 43K to grow as an investment, and then let's keep assume the rate of return of 10%. By the time that he retire at the age of 65, make a guess, how much money do you think this 43K is gonna turn into by the time he's 65? So that's like 39 years for this money to grow at a 10% rate.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's say 170,000.
Okay. That's a really good guess because it's the actual answer is actually 10 times more. So it's the real
Oh my
number is
gosh.
close to 1.8 million. Right?
Oh,
So this
wow.
is crazy. This is
Okay.
how powerful starting young, even it doesn't need to be a big amount, right? Starting young, giving it enough time, compounding will do the work. But just remember all the things that you save, you should be investing them, because if you just save them as cash, nothing's gonna grow, and then money is gonna worth less as because of the inflation, right? So for young students, definitely do budget, save, and then learn about investing. So learn like what kind of thing, because when you're at a younger age, your risk tolerance is probably higher. So you can you can learn about different kind of the investment options that is there for you, and then you can start young, and then I can't imagine like if I start like when I was in university, like I'm gonna be so ahead of others. I probably be able to retire like by the time I'm 40.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, when you put it in a pragmatic, practical way like that, it makes it seem a lot more attainable, and it is. Just by those little amounts can add up. So yeah, thank you for illustrating that example. Lexi, thank you so much for dropping by and for sharing all of these helpful tips with us. Any student that's listening, I encourage you to check out KOFE if you haven't already. You can find it linked on Connect and on the NSCC website. So definitely peruse through some of the services, programs, resources that are available to you there. And Lexi, I hope maybe you'll join me again sometime and we'll talk more.
For sure, for sure. I would love to join again. I'm always so excited about sharing those things. Even like I know that most of the people who listen to it, they may not like actually do what I say, but as long as if one of them do it, two of them do it, like the impact on their life, it's gonna be so big. So thank you for having me.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Thank you. Take care.
No problem. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Money Matters with Matt. I hope you learned something new. If you've got an idea for a topic for a future episode, drop us an email at awards@nscc.ca. You can also send us a question there and we will answer it in a future episode. Any resources or links that we discussed during this episode are available in the show notes. Thanks. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Money Matters, an NSCC financial literacy podcast. Make sure to subscribe to NSCC's YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. Until next time.